Last week, we reviewed the Redmi K50 Pro with Dimensity 9000, which is a great phone, but today's phone is even better. The budget flagship phone, Redmi K50 with Dimensity 8100 is coming. In today's video, we focus on the K50 Dimensity 8100, camera system, charging, and battery life. As you can see from the table, these are the three main differences between them. If you are concerned about other features of the K50, you can watch our K50 Pro review video. They are almost the same. Before we get to the test, I would like to introduce the Dimensity 8100 chip. I don't want to make it too complicated, but simply put, this chip is a sub-flagship chip launched by MTK to counter the Snapdragon 888. So if it performs better than the Snapdragon 888 in tests, then the purpose of this chip will be achieved. Let's look at the Geekbench 5 CPU performance tests. As you can see from the graph, although its single-core performance is a bit worse than the Snapdragon 888, it has surpassed the Snapdragon 888 in the multi-core performance. It even surpassed the Snapdragon Agent 1's multi-core performance level. So it looks like Dimensity 8100 has exceeded the goal. But after receiving a version of the update, Redmi has limited the K50 and the multi-core scores have dropped significantly. While we don't know why Redmi did this, at least the scores from the last version proved how powerful the Dimensity 8100's CPU really is. In the 3D Mark GPU test, the Dimensity 8100 scores are slightly ahead of the Snapdragon 888, but there's a significant gap with both the Snapdragon Agent 1 and the Dimensity 9000. In the 3D Mark stress test, the stability is much better than the Snapdragon 888 Mi 11 Ultra. Overall, at least in the bench test, MTK's Dimensity 8100 achieves what they expected. Performance surpasses Snapdragon 888 in an all-round way. The score is just a number, the game is what we really care about. I have to say, Genshin Impact is a really good game. It's pretty much the only mainstream game in mobile gaming right now that can put a huge stress on a phone. Let's review. Here's the graph for the Snapdragon 888 phone. Here's the graph for Dimensity 9000 phone. This is the graph for the Snapdragon Agent 1 phone. And then this is the graph for the K50. The frame rate was held steadily at 60 FPS for 11 minutes, and most of the time the frame rate was above 50 FPS. Do you think this is the best thing about K50? Hold your breath, there's more to come. Look closely at the average power. The K50 does a far better gaming experience with far less power than the Xiaomi 12 Pro. The 20 minutes Genshin Impact only consumed 9% power. The maximum temperature did not exceed 48 degrees Celsius either. Without a doubt, the K50 Standard Edition is one of the best performing phones we've tested this year with the Genshin Impact. Bright Rage's FPS is more dependent on GPU performance, so the K50, like other Snapdragon 888 phones, will have lower average FPS compared to this year's flagship chips. But at least the Dimensity 8100 remains very power efficient and low temperature. PUBG Mobile is not yet compatible with Dimensity 8100 phones, so you can't turn on HDR graphics and the frame rate is locked at a maximum of 30 FPS. If you like to play PUBG, you must think carefully whether you can accept this kind of gaming experience. All in all, this Dimensity 8100 processor in the K50 is an excellent performance. It is both power efficient and ensures a long-time performance output. All things considered, unless you are a Bright Rage fan, it is probably the best chip for gaming this year. Although 108 megapixels sounds much better than 48 megapixel, in reality, the K50's 48 megapixel main camera level is about the same as the K50 Pro. In the daytime scenes, 90% of the scenes I could not see any difference even if I zoomed in. Only in some scenes could I tell that the dynamic range of the K50 Pro was indeed a little better than the K50 Standard. At night, the photos from both phones look similar. The K50 Pro has less dark noise and the K50 Standard has better clarity. It's hard to say whose photos are a little better. As for the other two lenses, they take exactly the same photos. I won't comment on them, so there's no need for you to buy the more expensive K50 Pro in order to get better photos. The K50 also supports up to 4K 30 FPS recording. It doesn't look any different from the K50 Pro.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
Although the charging power of 67 watt is already quite fast, it is still slow compared to 120 watt. Plus, with a large 5500 mAh battery, it takes 5 minutes to charge 19%, half an hour to charge 74%, and 53 minutes to fill. Because we don't have another 5500 mAh phone, plus the highest quality or resolution of the games that can be selected is not the same. The chart shows the battery life test for reference only, but with such a large capacity battery and Dimensity 8100's excellent power control performance, you can be assured of a full day use. Of the 3 K50 series phones released so far, I like the K50 Standard Edition the best. I'm sure everyone is thinking the same thing as me. You can spend less money but get a better gaming experience and longer battery life. The screen is also WQHD+, and the camera is much better than expected. If K50 Pro can be called flagship killer, then K50 can be called budget flagship phone. That's all for the video. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. I'm Will from Gizmochina. I'll see you next time.